I know I'm a little bit behind the times with this review, but I had finals on my mind when this game came out, and even after they were done, I had other things to do than to buy and play this game. The only reason I have it now is because my brother bought it with his birthday money. Anyway, Punch-Out for the Wii is Nintendo's latest scheme to get its hardcore, in quotation marks, mind you, fan base back on its side. And I have to say, by a hardcore gamer, you mean played the NES and consider it the greatest thing since sliced bread, Nintendo did their job incredibly well. And if by hardcore you mean really likes to play games and enjoys a well thought out, deep, and satisfying game, well, honestly, they could have done a whole lot better. Now wait. Before you flame me, I'll list off some of the positives. The game's visual style is very likable. The cartoony graphics and stereotypes represented through the fighters are fun to laugh at just for the outrageousness. The soundtrack kicks 10 types of ass as well. They're all variants of the original Punch-Out themes, but they're really varied, and you'll have the main tune stuck in your head for hours. The base gameplay itself is good too. The defensive tactical combat that the series has been based on has been brought over almost exactly from the original NES game. But while that might be a positive, it's just as much as a negative as well. The entirety of the game is to shove nostalgia down old players' throats, just like Mega Man 9 tried to do. And like Mega Man 9, the fact that it sticks to the old game's structure without changing anything is a fault. While this game might be prettier than the original, you basically get the same exact experience from downloading the original Punch-Out on the Virtual Console. Hell, you can download the second game too, and you'll still have more content for almost $40 cheaper. And honestly, I found the main focus on the first Punch-Out game to be a bit insulting to the fans of the second one. Sure, Punch-Out on the NES was a bigger hit than Super Punch-Out, but for a company who endorses Ice Climber as a franchise, a series that disappointingly only has one game, failing to pay some nostalgic respects to the second game is unacceptable. Only having two characters does not count. Nintendo rubs salt into the wound too by having you fight every character twice in the title defense mode. It wouldn't be too hard to just copy-paste some of the old characters into the game, and extra fighters would have helped with Punch-Out Wii's length problem. I was able to get through the base game in 3 days, and for me, a gamer that had as little skills, 3 days of on and off playing is almost ridiculous when an average length game takes me 1 to 2 weeks. And if the game weren't frustratingly difficult, I could have beaten it in 2 hours. Oh yeah, in an effort to appeal to the 30-year-old purists, Punch-Out is overly difficult, just like many games in the NES era. The title defense mode just goes over the top with it as well, going from the "yes, I finally did it" sort of end fight shout to a "thank God that's over" type of end game shout. Just adding in an easy and medium difficulty modes would have made the game a whole lot more forgiving to new players, and the presence of a hard mode would adhere to the standards placed on the older games that would give the 30-year-old crowd some satisfaction. But honestly, even with the game's simple structure, punishing difficulty, and lack of content, I still had fun with Punch-Out for Wii. Granted, it's not perfect, but it wasn't meant to be a perfect game. No, it was meant to shut up those irritating purists who think that they're better than all other Nintendo fans just because they were around when the NES was still popular. And for that, it does its job perfectly. Final recommendation. I would buy Punch-Out for Wii if you are an old-school Nintendo fan or need an absurd challenge. For everyone else, rent it or download the earlier games on the Virtual Console. Thanks for watching. See you later.